today I am going to do a hemming demo. I know there are a lot of demos out there, tutorials that teach you how to do a hemmed pant. This is just going to be very, very basic. So I actually found these pants. They're about 4 pairs that I had purchased last year for school. And now I just found them under a pile of other stuff, as that happens a lot. And so now I have 4 new pair of pants for next year. I don't need to go looking for anything new to wear. So I just need to hem them. They're length 32. I need to make them into a 30. And I'm just going to do a straight hem. I think this has a 3/4 inch rolled hem. So that's what I'm going to put back on here for you. So let's get to it. I need to get these hems so I can wear them. Alright, so I'm setting up the camera a little bit differently so you can kind of see me working on the table. It's not coming straight overhead, it's kind of over where I'm sitting today. We'll see how that works out. So I think I'm going to do this gold wheat color. Is that wheat? I call it gold, maybe. These gold pants, because I think you'll be able to see the markings and everything better than if I used a light or a dark pair. So let me move these other pants off. So I think the first thing I'm going to actually need to do is actually rip this out. And I thought I had brought my seam ripper over. I've got one right over here to get started. So now I take the inseam. I'll measure the inseam, but I'm not going to cut on the inseam. So let me just measure this. Can you see that whole thing there? So my top of the inseam is here. And I'm gonna put the tape measure there right at the center here, and then on down, follow that seam straight down. So 30 inches is really right where the stitching is. So I need to pull that out, and I need to actually run over and turn my iron on because I need to press these. You don't need to see that. So I'm gonna get this ripped out. Let me get this just kind of started here. Just around here. So when you do alterations, you know, as a business to make a living, time is really important. And normally I would just kind of rip out all of these hems to begin with, and then press them out. So there wasn't enough. If my length, for instance, if my length was here, I'm sure you can see my finger, but if my length that I needed was right here, then I wouldn't have to rip anything out, because I'm going to do a 3/4 inch hem, rolled hem. This is actually a little bit more. This is about 7/8, but I don't want a 1 inch hem, so I just want a 3/4 inch hem. That'll be heavy enough to hold this down. So I need to actually cut at actually 1.5 inches, because I just roll it the same half amount. So I wouldn't really need to cut this off, but this is where I need my length. So it looks like, so even though they said 32, this is actually like a 31, but I'm going to make them 30. So you have to deal with that a lot. Some people, customers, clients will purchase pants that say they're 34 and they actually measure 33 or something like that. So just be aware of that. Okay, I'm going to make things go a little bit faster by using a razor blade. Just, you have to be careful. You know, I would practice, if you're going to use the blade, be very careful. They're going to be, you want to use a really sharp one. I think this one is kind of new because I just started using it yesterday with some other stuff. You just have to be careful. You have to feel how, and I have it tilted up toward the hem part, so it's not cutting any of that fabric. It's just cutting those threads. So that's what I was about to say about speed, is that you need to have those tools, and you need to understand how to use the tools that are going to help you to give you the speed. Because you know, in alterations, if you're doing it as a business, you want to be able to do as many alterations in the time that you have. So my typing teacher, I will always remember this from 8th grade. Typing teacher, as we're typing, time is money. But in my case, you also have to love what you do, and it has to bring you some sort of joy. And that's one of the reasons why I quit doing alterations here as a business, because I just wasn't happy doing it. Oops, I cut accidentally. See, even I cut that, but that's not part of the pant that I need. So just be careful as you go. So what I was saying is I just wasn't getting any happiness out of doing it, sewing for other people, and I really wasn't getting enough business, even as a side hustle, to keep it going, because I had hours here, all day. And so even if I didn't have anybody call or any business, I kind of had to stay open. I mean, I would close and put a sign on my door, but it just gets frustrating, and then you lose kind of the happiness out of doing it. So anyway, okay, I'm all ripped out here. I'm going to run over really quick and just press these flat, and then I will remark where I need to hem these. Okay, I'm back, and I've got everything kind of flattened out here a little bit better. So now I'm gonna measure these again for a 30-inch inseam, and I'm just gonna mark them where 30 inches is. Come on. And there are a couple different schools of thought on how to cut these. Okay, mark these. I'm just using Taylor's chalk. This is 30 inches. That's where, let me just mark this. This is where the hem needs to be. That's not where I'm going to cut. So I just like to get things marked first. Now, I don't cut on the inseam, and I'll explain that here in just a second. I want to get this marked. Some people do cut on the inseam. Some people don't. Let me get this marked right there. That's 30. Okay. So what I mean by that is that I don't mark here and then cut here. What I do is I'm going to do it right now, fold this flat. So it's flat in the front. Because this is the way you cut your fabric if you were going to be making pants. So I make sure they're laid flat like this, and I have my mark here. This is where the final hem is going to be. I take my ruler, and I make sure, sometimes if I can't tell by eye, I just make sure that I'm here the same distance from the bottom here. All right, as long as everything looks straight, perpendicular to each other, and square. So this is my finished height. So I take my chalk and I make the mark across there. Then I flip it up this way, and I get that same mark on the other side. Okay? So that is my line for my hem. Now I'm going to roll this. I want 3/4 inch. So doubling that, like you see the first fold here on the original one, and then they fold it up. So I'm going to do that same thing, and I'm going to make it 1.5 inches longer. So this is my cut line. So now I'll roll that up, and it should come out 3/4 inch. The stitching from the bottom edge. Okay, it doesn't look like I'm cutting off that much, but maybe they were mismarked, but these were actually more like a 31. So that's the way I mark, right? And I don't bother pressing those up because I don't need to. I'm just going to go over to the machine and roll that on the on that line, and I'll show you on the machine how I do that once I get this one marked. So I'll do it one more time. Make sure everything lays pretty flat, as if you were actually cutting out to make a pair of pants from scratch. Okay, this may be cut a little bit off grain, a little bit, I see. they're twisting a little bit over here. Okay, mark this side, fold this up. Now you want a heavy ruler. This ruler isn't as heavy. I don't know where I had a quilting ruler that was really nice and thick and heavy, but this will have to do for right now. Okay, there's my other cut. So again, I have my marking here on the other side as well. And now all I need to do is get this rolled up. I'll fold on that line, and then tuck this other part up underneath. Okay, so I need to get over the machine to do that. Okay, so I'm hoping that you can see, maybe I can pull back just a little bit. Okay, that's a little bit better, I think. Okay, so this is the inseam, and so I want to start here. So I'm going to flip this over here, and now you can fold the seam any way you want. This is where my finished line is, and I'm going to follow that line. You can press this if you want, but when you're doing this as a business, you know, you really need to be as fast as you can. Quality, accuracy, and speed is a must. So this is my line. So I usually just kind of finger press where that is, and then you can tuck that in. This is already kind of folded. I kind of want a little bit more than that. So we'll take that for right now, and then get this under the machine. And this is an industrial machine, so it will go over that hump a little bit easier. But as I go, and this is kind of already folding because it was really only about 1 inch, I can just fold right on this line and tuck everything underneath. And make sure my stitch length is good. Okay, so just now, if you want to put a piece of tape, or if you don't have lines to make sure that you're getting the same distance of stitching from the fold, you can do that. See, this edge is kind of already folded. I kind of want it folded a little bit more than that, but I don't think I'm going to get that. I'm not too worried about these because these are really just to wear to school, and very few people there will be looking at my hem. And I wish I was a little bit closer to that edge. For some reason, I'm not getting that. I'm okay with that. This is actually folding over on its own. So I can just fold this right on that line. I don't have to press it. I was kind of lucky that this edge here kind of already folded over. But again, I'm not being too worried about the total accuracy on these. These are really just kind of for school. Okay. Right? That looks pretty good. So now let's go ahead and do this other one. So this one probably will not fold over, if you can see that. So this one was a little bit shorter than the other one. So again, make sure this is the inseam. Hold that down. That's where I want to start. I'm going to fold it over on that line. And then, well, there's something, that seam allowance is doubling over. Okay, and then I'm going to tuck this under to meet where that edge is. So, right, folding that, and then fold it again. And once you start doing it this way, you'll just get a feel for it. And you probably won't press before again. So I really should be right here on the edge, and the other ones I kind of went over. Kind of far away from that. Again, I'm just not being super accurate. Gently fold that. I know I make it look easy. Am I making it look easy? I'm not sure. This is just the way I've done it for years and years. So the nice thing about this is you don't have to go keep pressing all the time, which actually slows you down. And this hem really did not take that much time at all. I'm going to run over and press these, and we'll have a look at the finished hem. Okay, so I'm back and we're done with the hem, and let me just kind of hold this up so you can see it. That's what the finished hem looks like on both sides. And if I kind of pan down a little bit, we can actually kind of see it on the table here, both of them. Okay, they look pretty good, and I know the pant needs to be pressed, but I'm not really worried about that right now. So I hope this helped you, and maybe it will help you make your hems go a little bit quicker. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe. I've got some more patterns coming out soon, so hit the notification bell and you'll get notified once I have a new tutorial up. Again, thank you for watching, and be well.